Welcome to the Hottest Wellness Podcast. I've got time with Sherry and Shakayla.
Here we discuss personal growth, relationships, and healing to become aligned with the best version of ourselves.
Hey, honey.
What's up, baby?
What's up with you?
I need a nap, honestly. I feel all of my emotions just on edge. And I don't know what to do other than go to sleep.
Sometimes you need a nap, though. You know what I'm saying? When you go to sleep, you wake up and feel better. Did I ever tell you that one quote? I honestly don't know who made this up. I just heard it from somewhere or from somebody else. And it's like, if you in a bad mood, you either should take a nap, and if you wake up and you still not feeling good, then you should eat something. Like, more than likely, you either tired or hungry.
Yeah. I'm probably both.
Yeah. You don't realize, like, your body needs those things to function, like dead ass. You need water, you need rest, you need food. And when we don't get those things, which a lot of times we be on the go or doing what we do or whatever we be doing.
Yeah.
You know, all day our body be fighting for their life and shit, like. And we're like, what's wrong with me? Why don't I feel great? Why am I irritable? Why do I want to punch somebody in the face? And it's like, nigga, you're nutrient deficient.
Yeah.
And your body is running on 3 hours of sleep and TikTok.
And TikTok.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
I feel all right. I am, like per usual, trying to be present in the moment, not allowing things that's not within my control to stress me out. But you know, that's so difficult for me. Like, I'm doing better at not being in future moments, but it's still hard for me to not be in past moments, and also not just like worry and stress and overthink about situations that are outside of my control, because I want to get them in my control.
I feel that.
Especially other people that you can't control, you know. That's what's been frustrating for me lately, is being in relationships with people who lack self-reflection. Yeah. And that's really been grinding my gears. And you can't do nothing about it, you know. I've learned from past experience that people just only get defensive when you try and tell them about themselves. And if they don't see it, then you wasting your breath anyways. So.
A lot of times I feel like you're wasting your breath just because people just come to things on their own terms. Like, even if it's not something about them, you can give them some advice and they'll be like, nah. But 3 months later, they doing what you advise them to do. So.
Yeah. I actually posted something on my story yesterday, and it was like, give people time to reflect, give people time to change, give people time to grow. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes the best thing is to give space to a relationship when you're having a lot of, like, communication issues and stuff like that. And some people, though, you can't help but, you don't have no choice but to continue in communication with them. So that means that we have to create better boundaries for ourselves, you know, when we enter in those relationships. Like, let me not even get started on this, because it's really no point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or just, I guess, maybe finding better ways to communicate, knowing who you're in communication with. That's something I also learned recently, like.
Yeah. Your lashes look really good. Yeah.
Natural lash shawty. This ain't got nothing to do with nothing we talking about all day on the episode, but I feel like I should bring this up. But y'all know I'm an esthetician, and I do lash extensions. I specialize in lash extensions for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And so I know what healthy lashes look like, and I know what unhealthy lashes look like. And I used to be a lash girl, not like an eyelash extension girl, because I'm not good at like keeping up with them and cleaning them and all that stuff. And I like to wear makeup. I like to wear eyeshadow, and I don't recommend that. So like, I'm just not that kind of girl. But I used to be a strip lash girl, and I would be one of those girls that like, I would not leave my house without my lashes on. Like, I was the same way with my makeup, though. I wouldn't even leave the house without makeup on. That was another story, though, because I was insecure about my skin, and so like, I just will always be having a cake face on.
Yeah.
But I remember like a couple years ago, I just started getting into the more natural beauty. I feel like it was like COVID time and stuff. And it was like, I really don't need all of this, though.
Yeah.
And I have pretty lashes. I have lots of lashes on my eyelashes. I don't need to wear a strip lash. And I think sometimes we as women, we get so accustomed with seeing it on our face that we think we look weird without it.
Mm-hmm.
And then also we comparing ourselves to other women. And like right now I feel like the last 5 years the bad bitch aesthetic has been so popular, and a lot of girls think they can't be a bad bitch without certain shit like a weave or a lash or a full face of makeup. And like the bad bitchery is in the confidence, girls.
Yeah, it really is. You can go far with confidence.
You can. And not that I'm discouraging anybody from wearing lashes or getting eyelash extensions, because book me. But I'm just saying, like, know what's for you and what's really not for you. You know what I'm saying? And, like, put that before any societal pressures. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Love yourself.
Oh, it's 2:22. That is confirmation.
2:22.
I almost wanted to say shout out to Rick Ross, but I don't know if I can. It's like, y'all know I had to calm down on the shout outs.
Did you see that video clip of him jumping in the pool, but it looked like his knee gave out, so he kind of just fell into the pool?
No.
He was on the diving board. He gave it 2 jumps, and on that 3rd jump, he buckled.
The last time I seen Rick Ross on my TL was when him and old girl announced they was in a relationship, which I'm still not sure if that's a real thing.
What?
What's her name? I feel so bad that I can't remember her name. She be with B. Simone all the time. She light skinned. She was on Wildin' Out. Pretty V. That's who it is.
It's always interesting learning people's like scale of light skin.
She's literally light. Somebody would consider me light skinned. I don't subscribe to that at all. Nothing against y'all yellow sisters or whatnot. But
Y'all yellow sisters.
I am down with the brown. Yeah. If I'm not brown yet, I'm gonna get a tan. That's how I feel. I'm glad that I released the shackles of wanting to be light skinned, because that's crazy.
It is. I remember when I never thought I was light skinned, but I remember when I realized that I was darker than I thought I was. And it was like, I don't want to say it made me more insecure, but it was just, as soon as I realized it, my next thought was, oh, that's why niggas don't want me.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I grew up in an environment where there was all shades of women or whatever, but I feel like certain type of guys go for a light skinned girl and certain type of guys go for a dark skinned girl. Honestly. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into it today or what I think that is, because that's like too much off topic, and it literally take me like 15 minutes to really explain the different levels and the different guys. But maybe I'll make a post about it because it's funny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dudes that like they like skin girls. They probably on a D1 scholarship.
Girl, that's like a requirement. If you trying to make it to the leagues, you can't have anybody darker than a brown paper bag.
So was there anything you wanted to get off your chest this week?
Well, there's this one thing.
Okay.
These airline prices are way too high. I understand maintenance on an airplane is extremely expensive. But
that's the business they got into. That's the first thing. This is what I hate when I'm a small business owner, you're a small business owner, so we understand the back costs, okay? And that's why we make up for the cost in other ways, like marketing, having people pay you to market, then put a picture on the airplane. Don't put the cost on us. Now, this will really aggravate me. Don't make the cost expensive, and the flights are continually getting delayed. Flights are getting canceled every other day. It's just not reliable at all. It's not a reliable form of transportation.
You know what also doesn't make sense? If I'm paying for a ticket, I feel like I'm already paying for my seat. Don't make me have to pay for my seat after paying for my ticket.
And this is a new thing. Airlines have extremely scaled back. I remember the first time I rode on the airplane, and it was literally a 30-minute flight from Cleveland to Chicago, and they was offering a whole meal and everything. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, they want to give you a little bag of pretzels or something and call it a day for a 4-hour flight. Like, excuse me.
Yeah. I don't even eat pretzels. So
half of them don't offer Wi-Fi either, which I feel like, why not?
Yeah, that's strange.
The accommodation just is not there for us to be paying that much to get on a flight. And it's like, well, what's the reason?
Yeah.
I don't know if I was ready to talk about this or not, but I think I am because I'm so pissed off still.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you do, don't fly Frontier. Don't buy Frontier. Don't talk to Frontier.
Yeah.
They are worse than Spirit. I'm going to be honest with you. And if not worse, at the same level. Okay?
You know Spirit.
At least you know what you're getting out of Spirit. Well, it's starting to make sense.
You get what you pay for.
Okay? We bought these Wild Passes, and like what the Wild Pass is that it's under the guise that you are allowed to fly unlimited for a certain period of time, but you have to book the flights. Ooh.
Sorry.
She's tired of the airlines too. You have to book the flights the day before.
The day before you want to go.
And then they say basically it's based upon availability, right? Mm-hmm. But the thing is, they just make the flights not available to you once you buy the Wild Pass. We spent about $500 each for me and Cherry and Max and Eva for these passes. We used the pass one time on a one-way flight. And then we were fucking stranded in another state because there were no flights available. And then when I contacted Frontier, first of all, they had no customer service. You can't call Frontier because they don't have a phone number. They want you to DM them on Twitter and Instagram like y'all homegirls. What?
They said we can't afford it. That's why we charging all of this and creating all of these things.
It's crazy. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I messaged them on about 3 different social media platforms, and I'm pretty sure I was talking to an AI chatbot. IA, right? When I say AI? That's right.
Oh, wait, it's AI.
Okay. I'm like literally having a brain fart. Yeah. And so that right there had made me cry all night. I was so frustrated. I felt like so bad. Like, oh my God. This is all my fault. Why did I book Frontier? And then after the fact, here come everybody. I could have told you that. I could have told you not to fly with them. Well, why didn't you? Because I texted at least 4 people. Like, did y'all see these Wild Passes? Blah, blah, blah. And nobody was like, yeah, no. One person, Sherry, she was like, I don't trust them. But she didn't tell me why she didn't trust them. And I just didn't take it that much into consideration because my best friend's a bougie gal. Mm-hmm. And so some people, it's certain standards for them. And I get that.
Yeah. I tell you what, my standards are going up.
Absolutely. I'm manifesting by this time next year, all of our summer travels will be 1 in first class and 2 booked several months in advance. Because I'm irritated.
Yeah.
It's like, the fact that they would take advantage of people who want to travel for less, because if you had the money, you would just buy the ticket. You wouldn't be trying to buy no pass so that you would have more access to travel. So you're going to take advantage of people and families that want to travel at an affordable rate. And for what? And let me tell you, they don't have nothing that you can have. First of all, checked bags are $65.
That's one
check bag. And they charge for carry-ons $50 for a carry-on, and that whole thing is a scam because once you get to the airport, you could have bought a carry-on for free as long as it fit in this little box that they have right when you walk onto the gate. I was like, I'll be damned. And mind you, we ain't pay for no carry-ons because I was like, we're not about to pay all that money for no carry-ons. But me, Cherry, Max, and Eva all could have bought a backpack. We really didn't have to check a bag if we didn't. Like, we for that amount of travel.
Yeah.
But that really pissed me off. I was trying to be positive and understand like everything happens for a reason. You know what I'm saying? That was during that time when there was a lot of bad air quality in this area and stuff too. So I'm like, okay, maybe God's like protecting us or something, blah, blah, blah. And I was happy that we had more time to spend with family. But yeah. Frontier Contra days, bitch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna blast them niggas on TikTok too. I got enough followers.
Okay.
Sorry, I busted up on yours.
You had to get that off your chest too.
Ooh, these other airlines ain't no better though, because that's what Jerry was saying, is that the prices is just crazy.
Yeah. You gotta be giving me something, because it just costs too much.
Flights don't even be direct. How you gonna charge me all this money and it's not even direct? I gotta get on and get off and get on and get off.
Yeah.
Where they do that at?
It's just not adding up at all.
Man. Flight attendants be ghetto, and not ghetto in the sense that some people be trying to say black. I mean, what ghetto really mean. Not how they be trying to, say us, but or whatever.
Yeah. So, shout out to traveling.
We're still gonna get where we need to go, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
God always takes care of us. Period. I know that, and I've been proving that a million, jillion, bajillion times. And so I really don't be tripping over stuff like this for real. But I do be tripping when I feel like somebody needs to get held accountable or they like directly responsible. So yeah.
Yeah.
Was there anything else you want to get off your chest?
I think that's it for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did feel like it was necessary for me to talk and get off my chest about the Supreme Court decisions that came this past week.
Mm-hmm.
By the time y'all gonna see this, is gonna be like a couple of weeks probably, but y'all know what the fuck we talking about. You probably had a couple of weeks to think about it and become more enraged. I don't know, but these Supreme Court decisions is starting to make me feel like they're trying to segregate. I feel like again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think that they're trying to take people of color's rights away. They are using Christianity to control politics.
Mm-hmm.
It's really upsetting because nobody else's religion get to be put in the forefront and say, oh, this is the standard that America should live by. Mm-hmm. That is your own personal beliefs and values. What the fuck does that have to do with the protection of American citizens? That's what legislation is for, to protect us.
Well, that's what they want us to think it's for.
That's what it's supposed to be for if it was running the way that it should, which we know that it'll never run right as long as we still got these old ass white people in office, these fucking racists, and then they just keep getting more people in office that are the same way. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it's really getting ridiculous. A few things happened last week. The first thing was that this lady went to the Supreme Court with a case that was so invalid and ridiculous. The fact that they entertained it was crazy. She basically said she wanted to have the right to refuse gay people in her business that she basically didn't even fucking have.
Which I don't understand anyway. I mean, if you want to say no to people, you can do that without having to go to court.
Well, in certain states, you can't, though. In certain states, there are legal protections for gay people because gay people have went to court for this. But what they did was they used the 14th Amendment, basically saying, like, freedom of speech and you should have your own rights. And so they use that to put this in effect, that now that they can discriminate against people that are within our community. Mm-hmm. First of all, bitch, don't nobody want to book with you.
Especially not after this.
And then she was in the video like, I'm so happy. It's been 8 long years, with this big ass smile on her face. Like, you're literally a bigot. I'm sick of these people, man. It's really starting to piss me off. Like, not starting because I've been pissed off for years, but like, it's getting out of control. Like, the fact that this is a thing and this is just one more thing that we have to worry about, because legislation like this leads to even more legislation that creates unsafe spaces for us, which we already ain't that safe. Next thing you know, it's going to be illegal to marry again. And I hate that for us as a country.
Yeah.
Literally going back. Then we got the Supreme Court denied Biden to, offer us student loan repayment. I said this when they came out with it. I said it. They was just collecting information so they could update their billing department. I had no faith whatsoever that they was going to repay these loans. How the fuck does America not have the money for loan repayment for school, but they got the money for PPP for businesses that are already grossing more than $1 million a year?
Mm-hmm.
How?
If you're in debt.
The same way they had that $7 million to look for those billionaires, but we ain't got free health care.
I'm going to just say this. You may have denied this bill, but it's still not getting paid. I don't know what you thought you were doing, but it's just back to the regularly scheduled programming. I mean, you're not getting that money.
Literally. I'll do anything not to pay them loans back, including go back to school.
I mean, give me a degree and I'll give you some money. How about that?
I can't remember, what's her name, Rashonda or LaShonda? Her tag name is like Shop AIF. That's her business. Mm-hmm. But she do these videos where she at the chalkboard. She always start with like a catchy slogan, which is so hilarious. Like, I love her content. Mm-hmm. And she's super gay, so like shout out to her.
Shout out.
And so this last week she did one and it was like talking about this. Mm-hmm. And she was also talking about affirmative action too. And she basically was saying that Jesus himself is going to have to pay off them loans because she's not doing it.
I don't even understand how we got to a place where I feel like the whole loan system they got set up should be illegal.
It definitely should be illegal. The fact that a lot of these systems were not in place even 50 years ago, like credit scores, is ridiculous. They're literally getting the fuck over on us and we're just taking it right in the ass, like, honestly. And I don't know what the solution is, because if we try and strike or protest, they gonna lock us up or kill us. Not enough people, or the people who can afford to basically go on a work strike, will not do it because them the niggas that's greedy. And then everybody else just simply can't afford it, and they're fearful that they won't be able to make their bills if we just stop going to work or stop participating in these systems. It's like they
set it up just right.
Exactly how they were supposed to. And if you know your history and stuff like that, you will see that this was started. One of the presidents decided, oh my God, I actually been studying Adolf Hitler and this is what he was doing, so I'm gonna start doing it. Like, those is factual facts in history. You can actually go find the tapes and the recordings where he's saying what he can do for black people to always be brainwashed and controlled, and poor people. What systems he could put in place for poor people so that rich people continually get rich. And like, y'all be acting like we're making this stuff up. Every day I see a new comment and they be like, why do you guys always talk about this like it's not really happening? And it's like, to you, you're not being affected yet, but let me tell you,
it's hitting everybody.
Just because you're not part of a marginalized group, that bubble is expanding bigger and bigger every day. Just based on poverty alone. Because the more high prices get, the less people can afford. And what is that called? Like, our salary's not going up. So the middle class is now the lower class. Y'all niggas are literally lying to yourselves, and you need to humble yourself and join the fight now while you have a chance. Because when it's too late for y'all, then you'll be saying, oh my God, like, black people tried to warn us. Black women tried to warn us. And, like, didn't care.
Yeah.
And niggas don't never care till it's them.
Insert a crypto ad. Which, speaking of crypto, I heard that Bitcoin is on the rise again, in case anybody was interested in that. I don't have any Bitcoin, but I do have some crypto.
I have a little Bitcoin, but it ain't doing numbers or nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can actually purchase Bitcoin and stock through Cash App. That's how I did in the past when I was investing, and it's very simple and easy.
Yeah.
Cash App, hook us up. You know what I'm saying? Send us a message or something.
Sponsor us.
Sponsor us.
We got what it takes.
This episode could be sponsored by Cash App, but y'all playing.
Yeah. Or Acorns.
Or Acorns, yeah. So yeah, the student loan debt will not be canceled. They decided to vote 6-3. Like 6 of y'all voted.
They probably don't have student loan debt anymore.
They never had student loan debt because it wasn't a thing when them old ass niggas went to college.
College was $400.
Let's be honest. 50 years ago, they wasn't even required to go to school for their careers. Okay? They just showed up at work. Nurses, all kind of people that you think need to go to school and get a degree. They didn't.
Yeah.
They used to be getting girls right off the street like, hey, do you want to go to war and become a nurse? That was it. And then you was bandaging niggas up in the field.
Yeah.
The fact that they require us to do all this stuff is the exact reason why I said I had to let go of the need to graduate school. Because is it valuable to me, or are we tricked into thinking this shit's valuable?
Yeah. Ooh, child.
The last thing that I wanted to discuss from the Supreme Court decisions was affirmative action. This one might be the most frustrating out of all of them, honestly. If you guys are not aware what affirmative action is, because a lot of people really are miseducated on what it is. They think that it's basically for black people, like, to get into college. And they also think that, like, just because a quota needs to fill, they'll accept any black person. Like, that's not how it works. We still have to be at the same standards of anybody else applying to whatever university. It's ridiculous that y'all even keep pushing that. Yeah. Not to mention, affirmative action is for all minority groups, so that includes women. There are studies that show white women benefit the most from affirmative action. So the way that y'all cheering and happy for this to be over is very weird. Because when women all together can't get a degree, then what?
That's going to be crazy, and they're going to be looking sick.
Because let's be honest, if we're going in this route of following Christian beliefs, they don't believe a woman should be doing anything. They don't believe a woman should be speaking, learning, teaching. Girl.
You know, it's going to always be catered to what they actually want. They want the women to be doing everything that seems domestic.
Ridiculous. Just so niggas won't have to do anything. And let's be honest, it's 2023. They're not good at domestic or going to make the money. Black women are out earning black men by 1,000,000%. That's obviously not a real percentage, but they are. Look up your own facts. So just stop. Almost every male and woman relationship, the woman be making more money. Like, you be seeing it on TV now. You be seeing it in celebrity couples. Like, that reflects real life. And honestly, the way that I grew up, seeing women be single mothers and take care of everything, it never gave.
We need a man.
It never gave that. It never gave, not even outside of needing a man, it never gave that the man could meet the needs should we need him. In any way. And I'm not down talking black men or men in general. I'm just stating my opinion based off my life experience, okay? And so if you're not one of those men, then if it don't apply, let it fly.
Literally. You know what? We still getting stuff off our chest, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of that, you literally don't have to comment on something if you see something that might bother you, irritate you, you don't get it, you don't like it. The fact that it shows up on your For You or Explore or whatever, the fact that it's on your timeline, it means you're interested. So, don't come in here like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're doing this. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're interested in this. Come on.
Nothing worse than when our message don't reach our people, bruh.
Like, our true audience that wants to hear what we have to say, what are y'all doing? What are y'all actually looking at so we can put those keywords in our captions and descriptions?
Because at this point, we're just attracting people who are triggered by anything that we have to say in regard, no matter what it is. Whether it's about politics, whether it's about the gay community, whether it's about racism, even the stuff that's about wellness and personal growth. There's always somebody in the comments that doesn't subscribe, and it's like, you literally don't have to. I'm not here to convince you guys of anything. We're here to share knowledge and information, and it's your job to fact check, my nigga. And if it doesn't align with your beliefs, keep going, keep scrolling, keep moving, watch something else. But then that's like so dangerous, because what it is confirmation bias. Is you be looking for all of the content that's going to validate your opinions and emotions, no matter how wrong or harmful they might be to another group of people. And that right there, I'm not even willing to argue or have a conversation with somebody like that, because they don't have no intention of understanding you. And if somebody don't have an intention of understanding you, in the conversation right then and there, because you're literally wasting your time, space, energy, breath, all of it.
Yeah,
just not worth it.
Whew.
Back to affirmative action. So historically and internationally, affirmative action has sought to support and marginalized groups of people, and also like help them achieve goals and bridge inequalities in employment, education, and stuff like that. So it's literally not about being black. It's just about being part of a marginalized group. I've posted this several times, and so you can go look at our past content, and it's a little wheel. And in the wheel, it starts out like the groups that are most marginalized. And then it goes a little bit out, and then that's okay, secondary marginalized, and then it goes out. And then when you start looking at the wheel, you notice what's called intersectionality, which means you belong to more than one of these marginalized groups, which means you are being impacted every day by legislation, by the societal standards and pressures, and just the plain old bullshit that people be trying to, push down on us. So, like, it's ridiculous. The one thing that pisses me off is just the hypocrisy of it all. Them trying to make it so that people don't have to have affirmative action, is that they're still going to allow legacy admissions. And so as long as your family has graduated from one of these institutions, which more than likely they're donors or
they on the board,
something like that, then you have a higher chance of getting admitted to these schools. And that's fucked up, because basically people who don't have access to the wealth, or people whose, prior generations in their family didn't have access to education, they don't have the opportunity to be a legacy student. And so that's literally the same thing that they're claiming affirmative action is. I just wanted to talk about that. My stance is, please go fucking vote, like, immediately. Vote locally. If you ain't gonna do nothing else, vote locally.
Yeah. And even if you're someone who still isn't sure about the voting system, The least you can do is educate yourself on what's going on, what has happened, what can happen.
Facts. Well, sorry it took us so long to get everything off our chest and whatnot. You want to get into the affirmation of the week?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Affirm us.
Sorry. I'm like in 3 different notes. Okay. This week's affirmation is, joy is accessible to me at all times.
Facts, B.
Yeah. How's that affirmation make you feel?
It makes me feel like I need to walk out of one room and walk into the room of joy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all you gotta do is open the door.
Yeah, facts. Nobody's saying like avoid your other emotions that are not joy or happiness, but sometimes we have those days where it's just blah, or we just going through the motions. It's just go to work, come home, make dinner, go to sleep, do it again.
Mm-hmm.
There's no moments that spark joy in your life. And in order to be motivated to do more things, in order to feel good and confident about yourself, you need joy throughout your day. You need to feel good being you. You need to do things that make you happy, or else you're not living a happy life. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what's the point if you ain't gonna be happy? And so that's just what I want you guys to be aware of, is that you do have access to happiness at all times, regardless of what your physical circumstances are or your environment is. You can find happiness like within you. You know what I'm saying? And so joy is accessible to me at all times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Period. Why they stop doing that?
Because white people started doing it.
Oh.
You know how we got to do it.
Period.
It's like the most annoying thing. It'd be the stuff that you've been doing since you was like 7 or something, and it's just like, oh my God, we can't have nothing.
Yeah.
This ain't got nothing to do with this, but it kind of got something to do with what we was talking about before and get off our chest. But like, when black women are complaining about white women and we say acrylic nails, we don't mean you just go into the salon and get acrylic. Stop being dense and trying to... These are people that will go around what you saying to misconstrue what you saying on purpose. You know what the fuck we talking about when we say acrylic nails. We're talking about long... We're talking about designs. You basic ass bitches wasn't doing nothing but French manicures for the last 15, 20 years. And now all of a sudden you bejeweled, got all the designs, got Chucky from Rugrats on your nails. It's like, just stop.
Wait. Getting Chucky from Rugrats on your nails is...
What's wrong with that?
I need to know what event you're going to, and I want to be there.
Maybe she just liked the Rugrats, and this week when she went to get her nails done, it was a Rugrats week. Like, it be like that.
They seem really fun.
When I used to get my nails done, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of a basic girl when it comes to nails. I don't like too much length. I don't like too much designs. I like little pretty stuff, like flowers on my nails, or, you know, just really artsy stuff. Nothing too much. But that's me, because black people are not a monolith. But don't try and gaslight us and act like we crazy or that we're trying to control or monopolize acrylic nails. You know the ones that we're talking about, and you know the ones y'all getting that you literally never got. You never seen your mom wearing them, because white people don't wear that shit. Stop.
Yeah, I was just a plain color girl, but I would like to get different colors.
Oh, wow, plain color. What was you getting, jail? No, I'm just kidding.
I don't think so. You know what?
Was you getting acrylic nails?
Yeah.
Oh, but it was you just saying you had a solid color.
Yeah, just a solid color.
Yeah, I feel you.
Different color every 2 weeks.
Well, what are we talking about this week for real? Outside of all the drama.
We're talking about feelings.
We is not talking about feelings. Well, I mean, we are talking about happy chemicals. If you guys don't know what happy chemicals are, first of all, our body is literally a machine. It's literally creating all type of chemicals and fluids and having chemical reactions at any time. That's why I always be saying, like, be grateful for your body, because it be doing a lot. We don't even know what it's doing in there, but it's keeping us alive.
Yeah.
So there are certain chemicals that we can get from foods or injections or, you know, whatever, but they are already occurring naturally inside our body. And so you can do certain activities. You know, there's things you could do. I'm like quoting that TikTok sound from the girls to say, I pay my bills. My bills are paid. Anyway. So, yeah, the happy chemicals are dopamine, oxytocin, not me trying to drug y'all, serotonin, and then endorphins. So these are all natural chemicals that's occurring in your body, but really in your brain. And we can change how we feel at any moment by just changing up what we are doing. You know what I'm saying? You can do certain things. So what is the purpose though? Like, why do you think it's important to know what these happy chemicals are?
I think it's important to know so you can learn how to manipulate your body and manipulate your state of being.
Yeah, your energy, period.
Yeah.
This is like really transmutation. That's my shit, but sometimes I'm really good at it and sometimes I'm not. It depends on how aware I am, how present I am, and how intentional I'm being. Because like when you set the attention beforehand, it's like you automatically just gonna follow through with it most of the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, like why wouldn't you want to know what you could do to put yourself on a higher vibration?
To feel happy.
Yeah.
Made me think about
Oh yeah, I always say that. I wish we could name that episode that, but what's the sound go? Each one of these have like a different function, so to speak. So dopamine is basically for pleasure or for a reward. So if you want to feel more pleasureful, or if you want to feel like you're rewarding yourself, this is like where dopamine comes from. So when you like go on a shopping spree, that's dopamine. You know what I'm saying? When you get off of work and you don't feel like cooking and you hop in that drive-through menu, all of a sudden you're at peace and you feel good. That's dopamine.
Yes. Buy a Hot Wheels car.
A lot of times, because we are in a really materialistic state of the world right now, dopamine is like the number one that we go to. I feel like we low-key all addicted to dopamine.
Yeah.
And then so oxytocin is the love chemical. And this is more geared towards intimacy in your relationship, not just physical intimacy, but emotional intimacy too. And so connecting with other people is like very important as far as like stimulating that chemical within your brain. Now, serotonin, this is the chemical that really just puts you in a good mood. It kind of brings peace to your energetic field. And so these are the things that like we will be doing that brings us peace. And we probably naturally already do them because in our brain we're connected to knowing that these activities bring me peace, so that's why I do them. So it could be like cleaning your house. Everybody know that when you clean your house, afterwards you feel so good.
It's like you in a whole different place.
Yeah, literally.
Or you in there for the first time.
Meditation is another one. If you meditate, if you have a meditation practice, it's easier to like get into it and get what you need out of it and then go about your day. But when you first starting out, it is a practice to like condition yourself to be at peace in those moments, and that you don't need to be anywhere else than in your meditation. But once you do, once you are finished with your meditation, you literally feel so good. It's almost like you did a workout, even though you were just sitting there. But there are other forms of meditation, so yeah. So what else I wanted to say? Oh, the endorphins. So endorphins are our natural chemical to relieve pain. And that's interesting because I didn't realize I had a chemical within my body that could naturally take pain away or even relieve stress. And so these are more the activities that are more movement of the body, because when you move in your body, that takes away the stress. That's why people say you should work out. It's not because they want you to lose weight or to be fit physically. It's because it also helps the rest of your body function good. It helps your mental state. So like exercising, doing something that promotes laughter, like watching a comedy or hanging out with people that you know you're going to be cracking up with. Like that right there is going to help you to have your endorphins flowing. Another one though was like eating dark chocolate. For whatever reason, what dark chocolate got in it, it's going to relieve pain.
Dang.
This was something I learned when I was in the hospital, but I didn't know before. A lot of people who have Crohn's, they will eat crunchy foods. And it's because the crunchiness also promotes like the endorphins as well. It helps with the pain. And it's not that the food is helping you have less pain, it's the crunchiness. And I don't know how those two things correlate, but in your brain it does something. I had seen this post, and it was this nurse. Of course, it's always the fucking healthcare professional on the internet complaining about their job. And she basically was making a complaint because she said one of the patients was complaining that they was having stomach problems or whatever. They was coming in for Crohn's, but then they seen them get some chips from the vending machine. And it's like, girl, fuck you. And another medical professional came in, and she was like, actually, bitch, not like that, how I'm saying it, but in a more professional tone. And she was like, yeah, actually that crunching, it helps with relieve pain. And so you're just not educated enough to know that. And even the person don't know that, but unconsciously she's aware that when she eat chips she feel better. You know what I'm saying? So now we might think, okay, these processes are naturally occurring to us, but like we also don't think about what happens when you don't have happiness in your life. Like obviously eventually it might lead to depression and anxiety, just not having happiness, but there are worse things too, like just on a daily basis, how that impacts you over time. Let's see.
I feel like every few months I discover how much our bodies need sleep. It's like I learned something and I'm like, yeah, I knew that. But it's like the more that I learn, the more it gets kind of scary. Like, we need to be sleeping a lot more than we do. Like, as people.
The crazy part is that we did used to sleep, but now we function on productivity, which is really very corporate and very money hungry. We have been taught now that we don't have value, or that we're not being productive if we're not working or doing something. And so that's the culture now. That's the American culture, and so many other places too. But a long time ago we did. I seen this post the other day, and this dude was talking about food forests. And he was like, back in the days, they didn't have gardens. They had food forests. And what that essentially meant was the plants were maintaining themselves. You didn't have to go out there and prune or weed. The plants did what they were supposed to do because they're living organisms. They know what they're supposed to do. They know every season they produce fruit. And then the other seasons they're in a season of rest. Like, plants are literally animals too, in a sense. And you could literally just go and get your food out of the garden the forest, and then go back home and chill and rest for the rest of the day, because you didn't need money to sustain yourself. Everything you required was provided by Mother Earth. And so now where we're so disconnected from Mother Earth, they done took away every last female tree you can fucking think of. We don't have access to this stuff because now they want us to pay for access.
It's so crazy.
It's really disgusting. Yeah. So. Well, when you are deficient, so with dopamine, it can cause you to procrastinate if you have not enough dopamine in your system. And these are things that we be thinking, oh, I have an issue, I have a problem, but you actually just might need to raise your vibration for real. Or maybe you are lacking some happiness in your life and it puts you in like a freeze state where you can't get nothing done. Also, low dopamine levels could make you have low self-esteem and a lack of motivation to get stuff done. And sometimes people hear those symptoms and they think, I'm depressed. And you might not be depressed. Sometimes I think I'm depressed and I just need some money. It's like all of a sudden I get some money and all of those feelings that I had went away. And it was like, bitch, you was not depressed. Like, I probably was low in one of these, chemicals.
Yeah.
Also, it can make you really, really tired. So, just feeling really fatigued. And when you fatigued, you can't focus, you can't process anything, and you start to feel anxious, and then you have a lot of mood swings.
Am I dopamine deficient?
It sounded like it, girl. But don't worry, because I'm going to tell you what you can do.
Okay.
So that you can resolve the deficiency.
That's crazy.
So with dopamine, you could meditate. And y'all know, like I said before in previous episode, meditation is not just sitting like palms up. It's like, what do you need for your mind to be at peace? And so you have to ask yourself, like, okay, what do I need right now? And then that might be your meditation for the day.
Yeah.
Having a daily to-do list, like just putting the things down in order, or having some type of calendar that helps you kind of like be focused and organized in your thoughts, and it puts your brain at rest, at peace. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Instead of everything bouncing around in there, and then when you're done with one task, you're like, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? And you feeling all mixed up. It's like, okay, girl, chill. Also, having long-term goals helps with dopamine. So, like, when you have a vision for the future, that gives you something to look forward to, and it does bring happiness into your life. And then also being super creative. Anything that is creative to you, whether it's drawing, making music, doing something art-wise, whatever is your form of creation. Shoot, you might have many, you might have multiples, but that gives you dopamine naturally. So like those little paint and sip nights with your girls, you be needing them.
Yeah.
And so next time your girls say you want to go to paint and sip, say yeah.
Yeah. Did you know that there's paint and sips where they're like painting naked men?
Yeah, I mean that's old. You know what I'm saying? That's like, what do they call it? They call it nude art or nude something.
But it's like specifically paint and sips now. I didn't know that they were like making that a thing.
I mean, it used to be a thing in more of a college setting, you know what I'm saying? But, people be doing anything for money, and nowadays people so sex crazed.
Yeah.
They just be like, yeah, let me go see this naked man. Oh, he gonna be so muscly. Don't even know how to draw two lines, girl. I'm not very impressed with men's bodies at all. I don't even care for muscles on men, so I'll be like, okay.
That's crazy.
All my friends love Magic Mike, and I've never even seen the movie.
Oh, that's an awful film. It's terrible. That's weird. To get your shit off watching Magic Mike?
People do. I'm not judging. I mean, get it how you live.
It's not a good film. Yeah. And the story sucks.
Well. So oxytocin, when you have a deficiency, you could feel more lonely, stressed out. You could also have a lack of motivation or low energy to do things. You feel more disconnected from your relationships. Like those people that be like, I don't have any friends. Nobody's there for me when I need them. But literally the phone works two ways. And anytime their friends ask them to do something, they make up an excuse not to do it. That's you, girl. You need some oxytocin. Also insomnia, and then feeling nauseous. Oh, that's sorry. That's anxious. Feeling nauseous. Yeah, feeling
you probably
anxious.
feel nauseous too.
It make you want to throw up. Oh boy. Now, in order to increase your oxytocin levels, you want to, like I said, socialize with people. Physical touch is a big thing. So, like, go get a damn hug. Those people who act like they don't hug, I got a couple friends like that. And I'm a hugger. Like, I'll hug a stranger.
Are you?
I am. I'm not a hug you all day type of person. But I am a hugger. When I see my friends and family, I hug them. When I leave them, I hug them.
It's different. I feel like I
hug strangers all the time, literally.
That's crazy.
You know, when I be in the grocery store and somebody start pouring their heart out to me, it's just like, can I give you a hug? Like they be needing a hug. Mm-hmm. It happens to me all the time. I'll probably hug a stranger at least 2 to 3 times a week.
2 to 3 times a week?
Mm-hmm. And when I was working at the school, I was hugging all day. Those girls was going through it.
See,
People
don't do that.
A hug.
I don't want that on me. I don't want your energy on me.
I hear what you're saying, but you know, me and you is 2 different people, and we got 2 different energy levels. It's like what you were saying before. Like, I don't have the capacity in other ways, and you don't have the capacity in this way. You know what I'm saying?
That's a lot. That's a lot of exchange.
Like, I get very emotionally exhausted, but when it comes to me giving my energy, sometimes it feels unlimited. Like, the energy is not necessarily coming from me, it's coming from spirit. And so, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Shout out to you. Bless you.
Socializing, so just going to any type of gathering, being around people that you can have conversations with, connect with, you know, having that intimacy is really important for oxytocin. Other things where physical touch is involved, and say it may not be a family friend, like massage or getting acupuncture, that is also something that boosts oxytocin. Listening to music too. We talked about this before, how music is so powerful and like literally can change or raise your vibration or change your mood to whatever. Like, you could be happy doing good, and then you put on Mary J. Blige and I'm Not Gonna Cry, and now you feel like crying. It's like, that's how it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like meditation is listed for all of these, and that just goes to show, meditate. I love that sound on TikTok that I use for Lady Gaga. If you could have, if it was one person in the room, how do it go? All it takes is just one.
It's like, it could be 100 people in the room, and all it takes is just that one to believe in you.
But she literally was saying it everywhere she went.
That's
it's
so wild.
So hilarious.
That's like spitting a freestyle on 3 different radio stations.
The same
like, we all know that you wrote this. Can you write something else? I mean, freestyles be written anyway, but you ain't got nothing else?
Yeah. But you know what? You had pointed this out to me, is that she had a movie that was about to come out, so it probably was something that was said in the movie. But it is very inspiring, and sometimes you do need to keep hearing something and keep hearing something and keep hearing something. Even us, like, having a reminder of that. Like, sometimes I don't show up as my best self, and there's those people who feel like whenever they walk out the door they need to show up as their best self, because they never know who they might meet or come in contact with. And like, literally it'll be what Lady Gaga said, all it takes is one. But you know, I don't have that belief that all it takes is one.
All it takes is that one person in the grocery store willing to give you a hug.
Yeah. The grocery store is just an example. I'm not saying I be hugging people in the grocery store. Grocery stores are mad unhygienic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that anywhere isn't. I mean, this is post-COVID we talking about, but yeah.
So.
The last time I gave a stranger a hug, I think it was at the library.
The library? That sounds like a place where a sad person would go.
Are you trying to say readers be sad? What's going on?
Absolutely.
Girl, I'm not about to entertain this night
Think
for
about
a
it.
second.
Think about it.
People who enjoy reading and enjoy those moments alone are not sad.
They're not all sad and they're not sad all the time. But you have to have, there's a certain level of connectivity with perspectives that kind of keeps you at a semi-lower level.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that just comes with knowledge anyways. Like, you're not gonna be the happiest person.
I don't know. I'm not saying that some of them aren't. I know that when I was a child, I read a lot because it was a tool of escapism for me. Being able to read a book. It wasn't just about happiness. My basic needs were not being met. And so, of course, that spills over to your happiness. But, you know, people might use it in that sense. And I guess technically that means sadness. But, I don't know. You could also exercise, or the last thing is take a cold shower if you want to get that oxytocin, like, boost it up.
Girl.
I would never take a cold shower. I barely want to get in the pool. Like, I'd be taking 30 minutes to step in when the water cold. Like, yeah, no.
I tried to take a cold shower. Every now and then I turn it to cold just to see if I could take it.
Not the trauma showers.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to.
Sometimes you just got to do it. Like near the end of your shower where you about to get out. Mm-hmm. Just put it on cold and just, you know.
For a while, I used to rinse my hair when I washed it with cold water. Mm-hmm. You know, because people say that like seals in the moisture. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's a real true fact or not, but after a while, I stopped doing it, you know.
Yeah.
But I do feel like a cold water rinse do help your curls pop better. I will say. I've experimented and it's true. You said that like you about to pop your curls tomorrow.
I was thinking about it. But then I realized I had lied.
I'm not going to do it. I was just thinking about it. Now, serotonin is really similar to dopamine, I feel like. Mm-hmm. It really affects your mood levels. So you feel like super sensitive when you have a lack of serotonin. You definitely are going to encounter having low self-esteem. So, you know, like here come the negative self-talk and stuff like that, and you can figure, oh my god, I probably need some serotonin. You're overly sensitive. There's some people that I can never have a good interaction with them because they are so sensitive to the point that it's aggravating. And I actually been that girl before too, and sometimes probably people think I still am that girl because they like, oh my god, you're so bothered by everything. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I care.
I know you don't care too much, but I still care.
Yeah. But, like, sometimes people are overly sensitive to the point where it makes them defensive, you know, in interactions. And it's just like, oh, my God. Don't even want to say nothing to that person. It can cause you to have anxiety that leads to panic attacks. So, you know what I'm saying? If you feel like your anxiety is reaching a whole new level where it's moving from the mental to the physical, you might need to boost the serotonin. Having mood swings and also feeling like hopeless, like, oh, I have nothing to look forward to. It's like other symptoms that mimic depression too. Wow. And having social phobias. If you feel like I need to stay away from people and people make me feel this way, or what you were saying, you don't need their energy, like, we said it before, and I've changed my perspective a bunch of different times on this, but we need relationships to thrive. We need them to grow. We need them to heal. And we need them for happiness. And so when you avoid having interactions with people, you're missing out on a state of happiness that could be accessible to you. You know what I'm saying? Also, it can like mimic some other mental health disorders like OCD. And so you might feel a little bit more obsessive, or you might feel a little bit laser focused on certain things, or feel like certain things have to be perfect to you or anything like that. So, you know, you got to be aware of that. Like, okay, you don't have OCD. You need to get your levels boosted up. Yeah. That's another thing, because people do be saying that too, and it's aggravating to people who actually had those mental health issues, like for real. Like, your one small moment does not add up to you having OCD. Stop saying that shit on the internet. Like, oh my God, it's the OCD. Like, you literally don't have that. And people are starting to do it too with ADHD.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people don't have ADHD. They're literally traumatized, including me. Like, do I subscribe and, you know, feel that a lot of those ADHD things apply to me? Yes. But the more that I heal, especially childhood trauma, I realize that I'm like literally in a traumatized state, which is causing me to have PTSD. And so it mimics ADHD. But I ain't got that shit. Stop claiming that you got every mental health illness and maybe really figure out what's going on in your body, bruh.
Yeah, for real. For real.
I'm not against, you know, real mental health help or whatever. I'm definitely, like, you know, doing it now. I just started medication a couple of months ago, and, like, I just started adding some more medications. And at first, honestly, I was nervous about it because I'm such a spiritual person. I'm like, I don't want nothing to do with this. Like, But I did feel it. I noticed, and Cherry noticed the difference when I hadn't took my medication for a week. So, yeah.
Shout out to meds.
There wasn't as many things listed like for serotonin to boost that up. So you really do have to be present with yourself and ask, like, what do I need in this moment that I'm having these feelings? It could be exercise. They also recommended cold showers as well. Getting some sunlight. That vitamin D is crucial. I say this all the time, that I will definitely be depressed for months if I have to, like, not be able to get sun, or I can't go outside and touch the grass and stuff. We need that. We literally need that. Our body is begging us, please give me some serotonin. And you like, I don't want to go outside because it smells like outside, or it's bugs out there, or I don't want to get darker. And it's like, honey, not you letting this systemic stuff keep you from being healthy. And massage was another one for that one as well.
Massage me up. I need to make an appointment right now. For real.
Yeah, you do. I had wanted you to get a massage when you was in Virginia, but
it wasn't in the cards.
Yeah, pretty much. And then the last one, the endorphins. When you have a deficiency, it can cause anxiety, depression, mood swings, physical pain within your body. You could be super tired and have a hard time going to sleep or staying asleep. And then also you have impulsive behavior. So when you feel like you can't make decisions and you just be doing whatever off the rip, yeah, you probably have, you know, a lack of endorphins.
Yeah. Wow.
Now, in order to increase your endorphins, like I said before, you can do stuff that helps you to laugh. It also says crying on there, which is so funny to me because I low-key feel like you get the same thing out of watching a funny movie versus watching like a rom-com that has like a tear-jerking moment. Because sometimes it ain't always like a sad cry. Sometimes it'll be like, oh my God, I'm so happy for them. Like, So, creating music or art is another one. Eating dark chocolate, like I said before. Eating spicy foods, which is so interesting because sometimes I crave spicy foods, and because I can't eat them that often, it's like I don't crave them as much as I used to when I was used to getting them. But sometimes I really be craving it, and now I'm thinking, did I really like need some endorphins? And that's why I was wanting that spicy food.
Girl, we gonna have to get a spicy replacement.
Our hot Cheetos should be on this list.
What?
Absolutely.
Absolutely not.
exercise or stretching, a good stretch session. I was like actually telling my niece about this, that you could go into like a massage parlor, and some of them they have like, because you got to take different classes and update yourself with more training, but some of them have stretch sessions where you literally lay down on the massage table, or like my friend Bon Ree, she do hers like on the ground. She could be in the grass or at a house, like she have like mats down and stuff, and sometimes she use like different like, I don't want to say pillows, because they be like those things that's like meant to hold up somebody's body and stuff. But yeah, they literally stretch you out, and like your body needs that.
Yeah.
And then massage and also meditation can help. Meditate or else.
Meditation.
Yeah. So that is how you can increase them naturally. That's really like all we want to say, is just basically educate you guys and encourage you to be more present in your emotional state and where you are, and to look inside yourself first before you consider like, you know, a doctor or mental health professional, or even your friends or family, and like just feeling what you need in your body and stuff like that. And paying attention to yourself, because the more in tune you are with your body, the more you could be like, I know I need this or whatever. And this is good. What's going to help make me feel good.
Yeah, make you feel good. And pay attention to how you feel when you eat stuff, too. I feel like that's a big one. I'm not starting to. I mean, I always pay attention to when I eat, but, like, I think I'm getting back into that whole, you know, let me really be more intentional with my diet.
I definitely want to be on that. We definitely said we was going to do that when I first got out the hospital. And crazy, we were like on our 8th episode. It's like, wow, I can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah.
Wow. For Mental Health Matters, we want to play a game. Do we have time for this?
Not really.
Okay. We're going to do this next week. So really for Mental Health Matters is what we just said. It's like, you know, listen to your body, listen to your needs.
Listen to your heart.
Okay, well, we can get into forest bias. Do you want to start it off?
Let's do it. So, I was hesitant to bring this up.
Why
especially
was you hesitant?
After reading more details, and just one part of the situation has me like, oh. So for those that don't know, I don't remember when this happened originally, but a mother and son were charged with murder for
shooting someone after a physical assault.
Right. The mother was inside of a restaurant in Chicago, and she got into an argument with this guy, and the guy started punching her in the face like she was a man.
Bink, bink, bink 3 times.
And she texts her son. I'll move past it.
You tried to.
She texted her son and was like, get the strap. And so the son comes and he, you know, gets him in the back, and the guy, he leaves the restaurant, and the kid follows him and shoots him, and he dies. That detail right there is what had me hesitant. Because for me, I could see why it's like, okay, you didn't need to follow him. But at the same time, just thinking about the state of mind that you're in that moment.
You really don't be cognizant at all when you're going through a traumatic experience. And like, this is the times where I say people always say what they would have done when they was in that situation, but like you literally never know. But what I really hate is that through all of this, the mother and the son has constantly been like ridiculed and blamed, when there should be no conversation of what they did was right or wrong, when the incident was instigated by the person who ended up dead. And they literally were assaulting a woman physically.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that pisses me off the most, like, I'm glad one person was recording, because otherwise they would literally still be sitting in jail now with those $1 million bonds. Or how much did you say the bond was?
The mother had a $3 million bond, $3 million bail, and the son had no bail.
He had no option
being
for
charged as a juvenile. Since then, Chicago has dropped the charges against both of them, so they've both been released.
But only because a video surfaced that showed the entire altercation. Because beforehand, when the police came to take police report, mind you, there was other men inside the restaurant waiting area. Because mind you, this ain't no sit-it-down place. This is a hood spot where you walk up to the window and order your food, and then you wait right there. There's no seats, nothing. And so while people are standing there filming and watching the altercation, nobody broke it up. Nobody told this dude, what the fuck is you doing? And these is the same niggas that we keep saying repeatedly, oh, when something happens, we would stop it. When a man is getting aggressive with a female, we wouldn't allow that. But yes, y'all do.
Literally just sat there and recorded. Or just
watched.
Just
watch. And then, I understand for your safety and protection, sometimes you don't want to be getting involved in stuff. But, that's the problem, is that we're so individualized. If 3 dudes took on that one dude, you wouldn't have to worry about your safety and protection, because it's literally 3 of y'all.
Right.
It was enough people in there to stop it from escalating to that point where somebody was unalived.
Yeah. And I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about it, and one of the hosts, I guess, took the attention off of the guy that died and started talking about the people that he left behind. And I mean, yeah, prayers to them, you did lose somebody, but I don't personally care. I hope you're okay, but
this is where
this was a bad individual, or this was an individual who abused women.
Abuse women with no care. Ain't no way. I was just telling Cherry, you don't go from 0 to 100 that fast, in the sense of you're having a healthy communication with somebody and then the next step is punch them in the face. That dude literally already had problems with aggression, and I wouldn't doubt that he was slapping up bitches left and right in his relationships, because there's no way that that's the thing that you literally go to first when you in an argument with somebody. I used to be fighting, but I'm in a whole different space now than I was when I was younger. If I start getting into an altercation, that's the last thing on my mind, is that I'm about to hit somebody. And so you already knew this dude had problems with domestic violence. And one thing that really grinds my gears, because this is something that runs rampant in my own family, is that women will repeatedly, and all family, they will repeatedly make excuses for people's behavior, or they'll be like, oh, my son, your son's an abuser. And y'all still will be in court with them, putting money on their books. And it's like, honey, they right along abusing you just like other people and stuff. And it's like, at a certain point, all the RIPs and well wishes is like, to me, I don't have much for that, because he literally put himself in this situation. He could have walked away from the situation at any time. When he felt himself getting that angry that he was about to punch a bitch in the face. Are you dead ass?
Yeah. So, I'm glad the charges were dropped. I hope that I read an article that the mother is thinking about filing a lawsuit against Chicago. I hope she follows through with that.
Before she filed a lawsuit, she needs to get her son in some motherfucking therapy, because
absolutely,
that is extremely traumatic experience. The fear of being a child and then having to go against a grown man. The fear of handling a weapon, because we don't know what amount of training he had or not. And
then actually killing somebody.
And then, the impact of that, knowing that you actually took a life and that it can never be given back. You can't undo that.
Yeah.
He's going to be severely traumatized, and honestly, I'm sending him the most prayers than anybody that's affected in this situation, because he's just a kid. He didn't ask to be here and just was involved in that situation because it happened out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's just so
crazy.
sad. Like, now, also in Forest Bias, I wanted to talk about Venus and Serena Williams. They just bought the Miami Dolphins, and so they are the first black women to be owners of an NFL team.
Shout out.
Shout out to them. You know, we always knew they was bad bitches from when we was kids, and they was kids, and they was like literally doing tennis matches as little girls. Like, certain people, you see them and you could see the vision for their life. So shout out to them. I would hope that them being NFL owners, it's not just about money for them, and maybe they're going to make some type of changes so that at least within their team is more inclusive and like just more has more care for athletes, but also is holding athletes to the same standard if you was a regular working person.
Yeah.
Because these niggas don't be getting fired enough for me.
I do have... Why the Dolphins?
Maybe they live in Florida. I don't know. Maybe that was the team that was up for sale. Maybe that was the one they could afford.
I mean, I can imagine it being up for sale.
I mean, I don't know what the Miami Dolphins is doing now, but I remember them being such a excitable team, having a lot of fans. People would literally travel to away games for Miami fan, like for the Dolphins.
What year was this? They've been trash my entire life.
Listen to me. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. We have the Browns. If you are a Browns fan, then you understand it doesn't matter how many consecutive games they lose. You're still the number one fan. You're still buying the gear. You're still showing up to the games. You're still cheering them on. And then when the time comes, you're going to talk shit again at the beginning of every season, even if they got to lose. Those fans are spending money. It don't matter what team it is. It don't matter how bad they is. It don't matter. Them fans is ride or die. Some people treat football teams better than they treat their own kids.
That's a different conversation for another day.
Well, then, what are you making time for this week?
Oh, you know, I think I might actually play with my cars this week.
Are you going to take them out the box?
Yeah. I'm going to open them up. I'm not really... I guess technically I would be a collector, but I'm not a collector. Like, I'm never opening these and playing with them. Like, I want to play with my toys.
Rip me out the plastic. I've been acting brand new.
You was waiting to say that?
I was. I didn't know if I was going to say rip me out the plastic, or was I going to go with the Cardiverse, rip me out the package, you know. Maybe I should have said package, rip me out the package.
What you making time for?
Ooh. I really honestly don't know. Like, it's hard for me to say. I feel like I'm not grounded enough right now to make the intention for next week. I'm going to have to, like, dub back.
Okay. Make time for you. For finding out where you are.
Yeah, facts. Because right now where I'm at, it's not a good place.
What are you guys making time for? Hopefully listening to this podcast.
And subscribing. And following us on Instagram and Twitter and on TikTok and I've Got Time Podcast. Except Twitter's I've Got Time Pod.
Yeah.
Definitely subscribe though. I see you guys watching the video and giving us a thumbs up. Hit us with a subby.
Yeah.
Like, don't be that girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, without further ado,
I've got time.